Good morning, Year 1. Today is Wonderful Wednesday, and today we're going to have a go at solving word problems using equal groupings as the basis for multiplication. So let's have a look at our in focus task. We can see that there is a boy with some chocolates. I want to know how many chocolates are there in one box and how many chocolates are there altogether. Bear in mind that even though one of those boxes of chocolates doesn't have a lid on and one does, both boxes of chocolates are exactly the same. Pause the video and speak to your partner. So how many sweets did you decide there are altogether? And I wonder how many different ways you solved this problem. Did you do it by counting in ones? Did you notice there are some rows of 2 or there are some rows of 4 depending how you look at the box of chocolate? Or could you just see that there was 8 in one box and therefore there must be another 8 chocolates in the other and then add them together? Let's see what they did in Maths No Problem. Now, one suggestion is that doubling might have been helpful to find out how many sweets there were in 2 boxes. I wonder if you can talk to your adult about why that might have been helpful, thinking about what you learnt on Monday about doubling. Now watch the screen carefully because I'm going to demonstrate what doubling would look like just to remind you. So on my tens frame I'm going to place 8 counters because I can see that there are 8 chocolates in one box. Now, because I know that there are the same amount of chocolates in the second box, I'm going to make another 8. So this is now an abstract image of the boxes of chocolates. It's not real chocolates, it's using counters to represent those chocolates. 8 chocolates in each box. Now the tricky bit is, how are we going to add those together so we know how many chocolates there are altogether? If you think back to our learning earlier on in the year ones, using this tens frame is really helpful because I can see that there are 2 gaps in this tens frame. We haven't quite made 10, so what I'm going to do is take 2 of those chocolates from the tens frame in the second box to fill up my first gap. And you should know, because it is full, that now shows us 10. And then I can count on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 chocolates altogether. Some of you may have noticed that we've got 10 and 5, so you know that's 15, plus 1 more to make 16. Lots of different ways of working out how many chocolates there are altogether, but our preferred method would be to borrow 2 chocolates to fill up the 10, count on from 10, knowing we've got 5 plus 1 more, and 5 add 1 is 6. Adding that to the 10, 16 chocolates altogether. Now another friend has said that knowing how many rows of sweets might be helpful. Would it be helpful? How do you know? Stop to talk to your adult. I'm going to create an array, which is what we learnt last week, to show those rows of sweets. And there's 2 different ways you might do this, because I can see on the picture, I could say there are 4 rows of 2, depending how you look at that box of chocolates. This is what my array would look like. 1 row of 2, 2 rows of 2, 3 rows of 2, 4 rows of 2. So that's 8 chocolates in one box. I would need to do the same again for my second box of chocolates. So there's my 1 row of 2, my second row of 2, my third row of 2, and my 4th row of 2. So I can see there are still 16 chocolates altogether. Now, if you saw the image like this instead, and instead of rows of 2, you could see 2 rows of 4, then this is what your arrays might look like. So I'm going to make 2 rows of 4. There's 1 row of 4. Two rows of 4. So that's my first box of chocolates. And then I obviously know that there is a second box of chocolates. So I need to make another 2 rows of 4 to represent those chocolates. There you go. Okay, so here is my first box of chocolates, seeing 4 rows of 2, and my second box of chocolates, exactly the same, seeing 4 rows of 2. And then I've got a box of chocolates, seeing it as 2 rows of 4, and my second box of chocolates, seeing it as 2 rows of 4. Do I have a different amount of chocolates altogether, or are they the same? Of course they're the same. There are still 16 chocolates, no matter whether I saw it as 4 rows of 2 or 2 rows of 4. As a conclusion to that problem then, in Maths No Problem it clearly says that there are 2 trays of 8 chocolates, which equals 16 chocolates altogether. We can shorten that and say that 2 8s equals 16. Or we could even say that 2 groups of 8 equal 16. Now you've got lots of guided practice here to practice manipulating equipment. So use Lego, pasta, whatever you've got at home, some plates to help you, okay? And stop the video to pause so you can go through it. Have a go at question 1. There are 6 sandwiches in each box. How many sandwiches are there in these 3 boxes? So 6 sandwiches in each box, and you've got 3 boxes altogether. Have a go with your equipment. Use grouping and have a go at making an array to find out how many there are altogether. Pause the video and have a go. Now let's see if you did what I did to work this out. So I know there are 6 sandwiches in each box, and I know there are 3 boxes. So here's our 6 sandwiches in our first box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My second box also has 6 sandwiches. 3, 4, 5, 6. And my third box has exactly the same, 6 sandwiches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sandwiches in my first box, 6 sandwiches in my second box, 6 sandwiches in my third box. 3 equal groups of 6. How many sandwiches are there in these 3 boxes altogether then? Well, I could count on from 6. So I could say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Or if I know my number bonds a bit more, I could count like this. 6, add another 6, I know is 12. Add 6 more, I know 2 add 6 equals 8, plus the 10, therefore there are 18 altogether. Let's have a go at the array. There are 6 sandwiches in a box. I'm going to make a row of 6 because that represents 1 box. Okay, and I've got 3 boxes, so I'm going to make another row to represent the second box of 6 sandwiches. And then I'm going to make a third row to represent the last row of sandwiches. Using an array might be easier to then work out how many there are altogether, because I could find groups of 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I know I've got 10. This is where it links to a tens frame. And then I can count on. So I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 sandwiches altogether. I want you to have a go at using grouping and making an array for the second question as well, for guided practice. Holly makes a bracelet using 3 beads. How many beads does she need to make 5 of those bracelets? And 3 more guided practice questions. Again, you might want to make groups, or you might want to use an array to help you find the answer. But have a go at question A. What is 4 groups of 2? Question B. What is 4 groups of 5? And question C. What is 4 groups of 10? And the last guided practice question, 4A. What is 5 twos? Remember, what is 5 groups of 2? And question B, 2 nines. So that means what is 2 groups of 9? Okay, your independent learning, you've got 2 worksheets to complete. And I want you to draw on these images, circle them, group them should you need to, and ask an adult to read the questions for you. So you've got 2 questions on worksheet 5, followed by question 3 about fish and question 4 about chicks in a nest. And for those again of you who want to push yourself a bit more, have a go at these extra challenges. How many equal groups of 2 can you make with the mittens in the picture? And then complete the sentence. Extra challenge 2. Take 20 cubes or counters or pieces of Lego and have a go at completing the sentences. I can make equal groups of 2. Obviously using 20 items. I can make equal groups of 5, or I can make equal groups of 10. Extra challenge 3. Have a go at completing the table and use equipment if you need to. So we've got an abstract representation of grouping and then some descriptions where you need to finish the sentences. Extra challenge 4. Tommy and Jack each have the same number of sweets. Tommy has 5 equal groups of 2. Jack has 1 equal group. How many sweets are there in Jack's group? And the last challenge today is extra challenge 5. I am thinking of a number between 20 and 30. I can only make equal groups of 5. What must my number be? What happens when I try to make groups of 2 with it? What happens when I try to make groups of 10 with it? You might want to draw to help you with this problem. You might want to use your equipment. What different possibilities are there? That's it for Wednesday, Year 1. Have a good day and I'll see you on Friday.